Welcome to Image Impact Index. I love having guests on the show because it's really about understanding how do you build your brand. Confusing. Often people think, you take pieces from here, there, and everywhere. No, it's about building it with intention. So today we have James Elliott. Good morning, James.
Hey, good morning. Morning.
All right. James is going to help us understand. Self mastery encompasses a lot of things, but what do you do with burnout? What do you do with imposter syndrome? And that's what James is going to talk to us about. So, first, give us a little bit, please, of your background.
Yeah, so I've been a serial entrepreneur ever since I started a snow removal and landscaping company. I think I was like 11, 10 or 11. It was bananas. Then 14-year stint in the corporate world with companies like IBM, Novell, and Lenovo, and then last 11 years trainer, speaker, and coach, and even author as well that I had added a few years ago. So done a lot of cool things, helped a lot of cool people, and but really I've been supporting businesses and helping businesses win for over 24 years now.
Okay, so how did you get this aha moment of focusing? Because entrepreneur, we've all done that, a bunch of businesses. I did that too. Well, except in 2010 when everything went to a whole other place. But,
Yes.
and then that's the learning of who you are. So how was your call? How did again, your aha moment came like, yeah, I love to serve. I love that, but I'm really about that clientele, that group, that
Mhm.
avatar, that topic.
It's a great question. In fact, we talked about knowing yourself and being authentic to your brand. So the aha for me, I've always loved teaching people. I've always had a love of helping people, teaching people. That's for sure. So that was a no brainer. But it's like, hey, how the heck do I use this? What do I do? How do I teach people? How do I help people? And it came by doing a lot of things and testing versus thinking, okay, I can't do anything. It came by doing a lot of things and having learnings and lessons, and yes, lots of failures too, and that's okay. I think people are so afraid of failing or even looking bad, when in fact it's the people that are hiding that are looking bad. People are so afraid of failing publicly. But these days with news and social media and all this stuff, people will, if they see you fail, it'll be for an instant. And I can guarantee you there'll be some other news or some other thing, some other president does something stupid or whatever that takes them away. And so you're off the spotlight. So even failing publicly these days, it's for an instant anyways. But I think the biggest thing, like I said, is people revere people who put themselves out there and who get out there and are raw and real and authentic. And I realized that too, that after slowly becoming me and who I am, and through again failure and testing, and do I like this? Nope. Or do I like this? Well, actually, yeah, let's do more of that. And testing, lots of testing that and experimenting, that I'm like, well, I think this is who I am, and this is who I really like to help and serve. But it was all with taking action, all with being willing to fail forward. And there's even a book I love called Success Starts with Failure. And I used to be someone who was on the fence, indecision, took forever to make a decision, wanted to know for sure before I took action. And there's no such thing as certainty before action. Action will get you that certainty. So it was all testing and experimenting and being willing to be wrong, being willing to look bad, and being willing to fail, which ironically made me look good because people are like, holy crap, you're kicking ass and taking names and you're up to amazing things. And eventually some of them start working, and then they start working really well, was my big learning. It's just to go for it, just do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Although I learned to remove the word failure,
Yeah,
and by listening to Abraham Hicks, who said, that failure is only an experience you don't like the
exactly.
result of. So
You're right.
essentially,
It's
that's really what it is.
back to
Not
learning.
when,
You're right. It's growth. Oh, no failure, only lessons, right?
yeah, it's really an experience. Yeah, if the outcome is not what you were expecting, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But failure, no, failure, there's a negative connotation, which means, no, there's something to learn from failure.
Fair.
Just the same way as when you date and then you go for what you like, but you also know what you don't like, which is
True as
just as
well. You're
important for
exactly
you.
right. Exactly right. It's all about, like I said, experience. And it's experience that makes us stronger and teaches us what we need to know to be who we need to be. Yeah.
For sure. And embracing our space. So, talking about that, let's get to it now. You were talking about how your aha moment just came. So, how do you go about helping your clients with burnout, with mental health issues, with not knowing really how
Yeah.
to go about it when they feel in chaos in their own mind, in their own core? How do you go with your process?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, one thing is having them step back and or step off the treadmill, like metaphorically speaking, step off that treadmill going day to day. Because unless we do that, they can't step back and see, oh wow, and have a look at everything they're doing. So getting them away from that, getting to do some rest, getting to put even break time, rest time, self-care time in the calendar first, and at which they think I'm crazy when I first suggested. I thought my mentor was crazy when he suggested put your free time in your calendar first, time off, self-care first. And then having them step back and then really look and reflect, because there's no progress with action unless there's also reflection. And that was a big thing I learned as well, to reflect, to think about my thinking, and even to schedule time for myself to reflect and to your point, meditate earlier, and to think about my thinking. So it's getting off that day-to-day treadmill, slowing down to speed up, taking one step back to take two steps forward, whatever metaphor you want to use, it's all true. And sometimes we do need to slow down and just take some time, with a great mentor, with a great coach, with yourself, with whoever, whatever, and really focus on, well, what is important, and who am I? Who the heck am I? And who do I want to help specifically? Because I don't think a lot of people know that. They're just being all things to all people, going all over the place, burning themselves out, exhausting themselves, probably having even imposter syndrome. Because if you're not an expert in something specific, it can create imposter syndrome, and being all things to all people versus, hey, I'm an expert in this. I'm an expert in helping people, no matter what level you're at, avoid burnout and avoid imposter syndrome. I was riddled with it before, and I'm an expert in helping getting over it and helping people transform it by figuring out, what's important, what's not important, who are you really, and why are you doing all this doing? Is it because you think you should, or you have to, or you can't do something, or you must do something? Really figuring out who you are and what you want. And then, okay, with that being said, how can I take those tools and those skills, and who would it light me up? Who would it absolutely light me up to work with? Again, whether you're in corporate or whether you own your own business, it's very, very similar. What would light me up? Maybe you got to change careers or change jobs, change businesses. Yes, it's scary. Yes, I've done it multiple times. But the cost is sometimes a life unlived and a very unfulfilling life where there's lots of vices like food or booze or drugs or sex or guns or rock and roll or whatever it is. The cost is too great, and when we focus on that cost, and what if you don't shift, what if you don't figure out who you really want to serve and who that person is, what's your expertise, so that way you can go into any environment and really not feel imposter syndrome, because like, I am an expert in here, no matter how rich or poor or who you are. I can go help Mark Wahlberg or Elon Musk. I can go talk to them about imposter syndrome or burnout, because I've been through it. That's my expertise, and I know who I am. I find that really helps people figuring that out, and again, getting off that treadmill and looking, having a 50,000-foot view of their life and who they are versus that narrow, very, very, very narrow view every day, being just too in the trenches to look and think, do I want to do this anymore? What could I do instead? What do I love to do? And what do I want to stop doing?
Absolutely. So how does it look like? Like, how is your process looking like? Now you found your avatar, you're clear about your message, you know what you're doing, and by helping, I mean, you know what exact area of life you're helping people with. So how does your process look like?
Yeah, great question. So we take them through a step-by-step process, really, I guess rehoning, if you will, or figuring out and clarifying. Okay, now I know who I am and who I want to serve, who I want to help, what my expertise is. Okay, well, what would light you up? And maybe who would light you up? Who do you really want to help? Versus who should you help? Who's going to make you the most money? What company is going to make you the most money? I've been at IBM. I've been all over the place, big companies, small companies. It's often not what you think as well. What will light you up and what will make you the most money is often different than you think, just like being an entrepreneur. I know people who make gift baskets. They make multi-millions of dollars. They started making gift baskets. You never know. So it's looking at, okay, who you want to serve and who would absolutely light you up. If that was the only people you could serve, or the only type of people that company worked for, what would really light you up, and who would you love to help? And then in what way would you like to help them? that would be super, super fulfilling. What can you bring? What can only you bring? And that'll again, we talked about brand, you and I earlier, Patrice. What will help you build your brand, if you will? And okay, this is James, he specializes in blank. We need to hire him for blank. This is Patrice, he specializes in blank. Or this is Jennifer, she specializes in blank. This is why she's an expert. And you can really help differentiate yourself as well. Again, that'll help nuke imposter syndrome and nuke self-doubt, because you're like, I'm an expert in this. This is why I'm the best in this. This is why I'm different and unique. And this is why you should hire me. And if you don't want to hire me for this, that's okay too. And I think that will have you really walk into a room in a different level, in a different space, and again, dramatically multiply and magnify the opportunity of getting hired. So it's that step-by-step process we go through of looking, is there anything else that will cause you to be doubtful? Is there anything else, looking at any inner conflict? Well, part of me thinks this, but part of me feels this too, and part of me wants that, is to really look at even in here and think, what is throwing you off? Are there any self-limiting beliefs? Is there any in conflict to look at as well? And that it's going to distract you and cause that defocus, or cause procrastination, or cause self-doubt, or cause you to be all over the place. What's going to help you focus and get you laser focused? So it's a very, very powerful step-by-step process to get people laser focused and thinking, what is a 20% that I love to do, that moves the needle the most, that I could do all day long? And then what is that 80% that I can either outsource, delegate, automate, or even eliminate? Because some things don't even need to be done as well. So it's that powerful process to get them there, get them clear.
All right. And how many years? So how many years? When was the moment in time? Literally, if you have a timeline, where is the moment that you define that that's it? You were going from, what am I going to do with my life, to become, hey, I'm a grown up and now I found my way and now this is what I'm going to do.
That's a great question. And there's been so many ahas and up-levelings and iterations. It
Of
probably
course.
was honestly the second time I got laid off in the height of my career, like talking like IBM Employee of the Year and winning President's Club twice, Awards Club twice, and then months later getting laid off. Sorry, we're shutting down this division. You're gone. See you. The first time I didn't quite get it. I knew I wanted to do something more on my own. Second time, though, it's like, all right, something or someone is trying to send me a message. Okay, I'm listening. I guess that was the dividing point about, oh my goodness, 12 years ago, when it's like, okay, I get it now. I got it. I'm hearing you. I'm listening. This is what I'm doing is not for me. Let's go in this direction. Let's start my business again. Let's help people. Let's have some fun.
Okay, and how did it feel? Because that's important. I mean, whether your crowd or mine, serving, as being the authentic you, which is really mental health. Because if you do something you love and passionately every single day, because we work a lot, so might as well
Yes.
pick something we love.
Well,
So
exactly.
give us the reward of that you shifted from a corporate life into an entrepreneurial life.
The reward, it was incredible. It is incredible. It's just, sure, there's high highs and low lows being an entrepreneur, just like being in corporate. It's just different. It's great. It's just different. And eventually though, those low lows and high highs, it's like an exponential chart. The dips go like this, so that even the dips are high highs as well, and new high highs. So that's the biggest thing I think I've learned is to be okay and embrace challenges, embrace fear, embrace life, embrace the haters, embrace everything that comes up, because it's all an experience. To your point, there's no failure, there's only feedback, there's only learning, there's only lessons, and there's only growth. You can either win or you grow, which means you still win. And I guess that's probably the last thing I'll leave you with here, because I know we're running out of time. There's no failure. It's just growth. It's just experience. And I think that's what we're here for, is to have that experience and have some fun doing it. Like I said, we might as well enjoy what we do all day long, because we're doing it all day long. Otherwise, we're burnt out, we're overwhelmed, and we want to quit. So that's my last, I think that's my last thought I'll leave you with today.
All right. So, I mean, as we're wrapping up, so give us, the one tip that you would add on to what you say, and how can we reach you?
So I would say, think about your thinking, take stock, step back and think about your thinking, and reflect on what you're doing. It's paramountly important. And then you can reach me at limitless-entrepreneur.com. So limitless-entrepreneur.com, or seek me out, James R for Robert Elliott, on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. And it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on your show, Patrice.